The Gothic film. Are Gothic films still relevant today? With human mortality, morality, philosophy, religion, deep passion, and desire with dreamy backdrops of isolated castles, dungeons, forests, superstitions and fears of another woebegone past, family legacies, rich settings, shadowy figures, women in white, gloom, unsolved inner conflicts portrayed in symbolic manners, a reminder that the terrifying unknown cannot be forgotten, erased, or destroyed, only ignored and repressed, but for only so long. The emotional turmoil that is conveyed in these types of stories and films is reimagined as the physical or metaphysical, and most often supernatural. This is helped by a threatening atmosphere, characters applying erratic and irrational explanations to dilemmas, ancient prophecies and dark gloom, whether with the occasional strike of lightning, are used to foreshadow impending doom, dread, and creeping preying terror. Inexplainable events are scattered all over such stories, such as characters becoming possessed or sudden deaths occurring randomly. When these original stories were written, mortality rates were very high, so death was a hot topic. But that's no excuse to say that we are better today. Death can strike unexpectedly and at any moment. Many will suffer the consequences of such tragedies. As a modern audience, we are not completely immune to the effects of tragedy, or those mere prying little thoughts that threaten deep emotional turmoil, just as writers such as Mary Shelley, Anne Radcliffe, Sheridan Le Fanu, Bram Stoker, and Matthew Lewis are probably acquainted with, just as we are, and them even more so. Their works consisted of many attractive or romantic subject matter, incorporating sublimity and longing damsels in distress. Science had been, and still is, a hot topic, but especially in the 19th century, where there was more scientific enlightenment, inspiring novels such as Frankenstein, The Strange Case of Dr. and Jekyll Hyde. They were written in response to these scientific breakthroughs and questioned scientific advancement, as well as imaginatively elaborating upon it. Other cultural shifts besides scientific breakthroughs include awareness that was brought to the preying on the weak, innocent, and neglected, the struggling attempts to harmony in the midst of progress.
It's natural. You don't know what's happening to you, but there's nothing to be frightened of. As long as you put your faith in me, give me time, trust me.
Trust you? I did trust you, and look what happened.
It's a bruise, it will fade.
Heightened emotions, discerning the truth from the dream, madness, decay, fog, gloom, mystery, dramatic irony, all trademarks of the classic Gothic tale. Early Gothic films, such as The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, 1920, a German expressionism film, was a precursor for many of the other Gothic films yet to come, setting the standard with its sense of psychological claustrophobia that's to be used to explore the madness and subconsciousness of its characters, questioning the reality and madness. Then comes Nosferatu, the first Dracula adaptation. Many would follow after it.
No dream. This is Dracula.
There occurred the frightening and shocking history of Prince Dracula and the woman he loved.
I have crossed oceans of time to find you.
Yeah. Dracula.
Vampires are a Gothic staple. They've been used to express the fear of the unknown, repress sexuality, and have been used to villainize corrupt and homosexual behavior until it became romanticized during the 60s and 70s softer erotica, which included The Vampire Lovers, based off of Carmilla, the classic lesbian vampire romance. And we can see more examples of this in Anne Rice's novel and film, Interview with the Vampire, featuring a messy love triangle with Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, and Antonio Banderas. And it was even more explicit in the original novels.
His name is Lestat. But what if I could give it back to you? Pluck out the pain and give you another life. One you could never imagine.
I can see you lying on a bed of satin.
He chose one man. He gave him infinite power, eternal life, and a daughter who would be forever young.
This is the only real evil left.
And then he took the light of day.
You're a vampire. You never knew what life was until it ran out in a red gush over your lips. I can't stand this any longer.
You made us what we are, didn't you?
God kills indiscriminately, and so shall we.
You like dying? You condemn me to hell!
Monster. One happy family.
Take her, Louise. End her suffering and yours. But do not...
Now the question is, are these dramatic, far-fetched stories still relevant and applicable to today's audience with today's expectations of the 21st century? Well, to answer that question, recent Gothic films such as The Invitation, What We Do in the Shadows, Lisa Frankenstein, and Only Lovers Left Alive have put a modern twist to the old genre, for better or for worse, proving that even old dogs can learn new tricks.
A colorful dust that sparkles.
Glitter?
Yes, get me some glitter. I'm going to sprinkle it on my face and on my body. Like twilight.
A lot of glitter.
These recent films show that there must be some demand for the Gothic film, and there must be at least some relevancy, even when most of these stories harken to a time long since past. Because we have become less superstitious as science and information in general has become more accessible, we know that vampires, specters, werewolves, or any other supernatural configurations are hardly the cause of unexplainable events. Nowadays, we have enough evidence when looking at a matter to make an educational guess that doesn't have us leaping to supernatural conclusions. So why do we still buy into it? Why do we still watch these stories? Well, Gothic themes explore universal fears through timeless stories, making them adaptable to different eras.
Wash your hands, kiddo.
Recent young audiences have struck a chord with Zelda Williams's Lisa Frankenstein and leans into the social insecurities of today, featuring a weird high school girl who listens to The Cure and spends her days at the local cemetery and eventually becomes enthralled in a charming romance with a reanimated corpse. Gothic films can still be relevant, delving into social issues and injustices. Their atmospheric settings and dark themes continue to resonate with audiences. Even in contemporary cinema, Gothic elements like ghosts and haunted spaces are vital to spooky stories, and Gothic aesthetics are often tied to these ideologies and social injustices and power dynamics such as abuse and female subjugations. Society will always have this genre to fall back upon in times of need, if one finds themselves so compelled.